Hello everyone! Blue Star Saber here once again to do another Star Wars Andor review, Season 2, Episodes 7 to 9. Messenger, who are you? And welcome to the Rebellion. Basically, this is the third story arc of Season 2 of Andor, which will cover the infamous Gorman Massacre, which was first referenced in Legends and then was mentioned in Rebels, and which led to Mon Mothma to call out against Emperor Palpatine and the Empire, and officially declare the Rebel Alliance as an open conflict, if you will, against the Galactic Empire, sort of merging all the Rebel cells across the galaxy. Last batch of story arc episodes, basically for the most part, had the Gorman rebellion sort of built up. The ISB planting, try and control them using Cyril Khan to gain access with them. Andor and Val, both having their missions to check out the rebellion. Which gets Andor at odds with, I think, Luthen at one point. Val loses her, lover, if you will, during the first heist there. And Willman has interacted with Saw Gerrera, sort of embracing his sort of, I guess you could say, style of rebellion during the war, if you will. While at the same time, I believe we got Mon Mothma trying to help the Gorman people her own way, if you will, in the Senate and all that stuff. So yeah, that's basically what happened last time. But now we're here to discuss the first episode of the new season. So yeah. Anyway, where to begin? I suppose the summary would be in order. Hopefully I will not make this too long. Anyway, I just need to oops, wrong one. Share screen. The episode begins on basically Yavin, where Willman has just arrived at the base, and he's gone to basically meet Cassian and Bix, who have basically started a life there. They've pretty much become part of the whole Rebel base, if you will. Some friendly greetings at first, but granted, things take a bit of a sour when Willman has come from a message with Luthen, who Andor, it seems at this point, seems to be a bit more, I guess you could say, done with Luthen's activities. So yeah, you have that little bit of an argument there while he reveals that, to them, as Luthen is not really comfortable with this big, larger rebel army, or at least Willman seems to be to some extent. Now, Andor feels like this is the point of the rebellion and feels like he's much more better needed here. Ends up, revealing that Daedra is on Gorman, and that this is the woman that's been trying to hunt them down for so long, since Ferrex. And it says to Andor, this is their best chance to take her out, but Andor seems a bit reluctant to do so. As you see from this mission, basically. So we've basically kind of gotten that. Meanwhile, on Gorman itself, we see larger Imperial control, if you will, and we're following, Ciro, who has become a bit more questioning of what the Empire is actually doing here, as I may have made a mistake of last episode of him thinking that, we're just here to stop rebels, not really, outside, when it's he thinks, we're trying to find these outsider rebels that are going to try and sabotage Gorman, but in fact, is actually a bit suspicious. Wait, is that actually his mission? Particularly when he goes to confront Dadara, who has been getting more orders from her superior. Whoops, let me just get the image. from her superior, of course, Leo Parkatz, that says that the Emperor has given, the say that to go with an initial plan, and we're going to be taking the resources, the realty, I think, the stone resources they're going to need to build basically the Death Star, even though they don't really bring up the Death Star here, but you know what it's basically being built for, given the fact that Director Krennic is about. That Director Krennic give them this operation, telling her to go through with the original plan, as this will help gain favor again with the ISB. So she ends up agreeing to it. Tries to persuade Cyril Khan Cyril Khan here that it's probably time to head back, if you will, and that saying that trying to do more about these outsiders causing like the latest bombing thing, but he's not really seeming to buy it or starting to question it a bit more. And she just tries to kiss him, saying, just Ritzy, go home and all that stuff, or go home when I tell you. There'll be sort of heroes, but you can tell it's a very awkward kiss, if you will. And he even tries to persuade one of the Gorman rebels, I think it's the daughter of the leader, that it might be that, and just telling the others just to wait and just help, but she's having none of his crap, seemingly lost all trust in him, slaps him. So yeah. Meanwhile, we've got quite a fair share of hold on, let me just get the image. The Gorman front and the rebels here debating and arguing what actually to do as the leader, I've forgotten his name, but ends up trying to say that we need to do peaceful protests. Starting to suspect that, nothing we've done of provoking them has worked. It's not working. We need to try and do a more peaceful approach. Otherwise, we're just falling into some sort of trap thing. The others are more like, no, we can't, there's time for action. And one of them, I believe, the bearded dude that was very vocal during like the community meeting, was talk about how we are people of Gore and we need to stand. And it seems like that seems to seal the argument for most of the rebels to do, despite the fact that this guy here, and here's the daughter, and that seems to be that just seems to persuade the argument of what to do for Gorman, if you will. At the same time, you have, I believe, let me just, you have Mon Mothma. Probably should probably get her senator look, to be honest, but I guess I was too lazy to change. Mon Mothma end up meeting with the Gorman senator, who I did not realize was a Gorman last batch of episodes. Ritzy was like, wait, is this the Gorman one? We seem to be trying to get his people to urge caution, even when Mon Mothma was trying to get help. But he begins to talk about the more situation with Gorman, and it thanks Mon Mothma for all the help, but tells her to be careful, as he thinks that there's no stopping what might happen soon and all that. So you've got that nice little batch of episodes. Meanwhile, Andor and Andor's been suffering from a shoulder wound, and her partner, Bix, is just telling them to go check out this Force healer, but Andor doesn't really trust healers, and apparently has some incident with his mother Marva with a Force healer one time, left a very bad impression 10 years ago, and they never sort of trusted them since, but she seems to be able to know what she's doing, and ends up healing Andor, and seems to also notice his presence before they even formally greet themselves. Ends up telling him, and senses his commitment to the rebellion and all that stuff, and telling Bix when Andor leaves that that Andor will be vital to the rebellion and a sort of very important messenger down the line. And maybe imply that you might be a part of that future, but that might just be her just giving Bix some hopes. I'm not sure what she sees and all that stuff, but that's the message at first. So we've got that. Let's see. Eventually, let's see. Cass agrees to. Let's see. Let's see. And Andor doubts like the healer's messages. Agrees with Wilman to try and go and assassinate Dadara. I might be pronouncing it wrong. And while that is happening, let's see. Let's see. Hold on. I'm trying to find the image. Where is it? Oh yeah. Let's see. The Rebel General Davin from like Rogue One has finally shown up and telling Andor that he's not allowed to leave because they're about to adjust the ship and that they can't really do personal missions really, but Andor's going anyway. They arrive on let's see, Gorman and the hold on, let me the sort of let's see, Fowler, the sort of bellhop, or at least some staff member from the hotel that Andor once went to in the last story arc, helps him get in as Andor sort of prepares to like begin the assassination against Dadari, ending this sort of first episode. So anyway, my overall thoughts of the first episode. Out of the 3 episodes in the story arc, it is the weakest of one, but it's a pretty good setup. Basically, one thing I forgot to mention is that during the whole thing, while Andor's away, where is it? Oh yeah. I could have gone back here, but Val ends up interacting with Bix and telling her that the rebels want to make Andor a leader, but his actions aren't really causing them some when he's gone off with Wilman. But she assures them that Andor will remain committed to the cause and all that. So yeah, that's part of the episode's end. Anyway, I do like how we finally starting to get sort of the more built rebel alliance, if you will. At least the Yavin cell is more about operational, as we got like a tease from the first story arc that it's finally here. Granted, I don't think we saw any of the rebels from that first bit, so I assume they're probably all dead, probably. So who knows? I mean, granted, most people I think found that to be the weakest part of that episode, so probably most would be happy. But yeah, I do like how we finally at Yavin and it's Andor and Bix have continued their sort of relationship here, but Andor's injured. I do like the sort of conflict that Andor seemed to be having with Wilman about Luthen. It seems like he's finally had just about enough of Luthen, and it's like, I want to be part of this more bigger thing, while Wilman is less trusting, probably being more influenced by Saw Gerrera, like having more select smaller groups. Thinking that Wilman is more, let's see, better for like the interests of their operations, if you will. But I do like how he pretty much gives them like one that sort of like a mission that Andor could be interested in, that is taking out Dadara, which he's of course reluctant to, but eventually agrees to do it. And arguably, this is basically Luthen's arch rival, if you will, in the Star Wars. Let's see, at least one of his arch rivals, besides maybe ISB's actual leader in the thing, since she is the most persistent in trying to hunt down Andor. But yeah. So I do like that. Speaking of which, I do like how we've got Dadara being portrayed of being a bit, reluctant about, seemingly about doing this whole mission, if you will, to to do this with like Gorman Massacre, hoping like perhaps maybe some of the other options were made, but in the end, the Emperor himself has to see that Gorman's the only place with the resources, and the Emperor wants this done, so she has to do it. And I do like how she tries to convince Ciro that we'll be heroes by the end of this, and she's trying to tell herself, and she's very awkward with that kiss, and it's like, thinking that she can try and get that to work. But of course, Cyril still has his doubts, which I will admit, let's see, last, I think, review, I kind of like completely, let's see, misread, I think, Cyril with what I think he's doing here, thinking that they're going to try and catch the Gorman rebels, when it's more of like actually try and catch rebels that are trying to influence the people of Gorman to rebellion. But it's that point he's learning more sources and spies and all that stuff. His time here, he seems to at least does somewhat care for the Gorman people. He's not really putting an act from what I can see from like the message with his the conversation he had with his mother. But at this point, he has basically lost the trust of most of the rebels, given the fact that one of their members basically slapped him, if you will. So yeah, it's like he's still trying to probably convince himself that he's trying to do the right thing, but it seems like, of course, he doesn't want to quite yet fully believe that Dadara is not telling him the full truth, and that the Empire is actually doing some rather nefarious stuff here. So yeah, it's basically he's starting to sort of crumble. I think his ideals are starting to, and everything he thinks he knows is starting to really crumble. So I do like that. I like the sort of granted, I will say one criticism I think is the fact, well, this is not really the episode's fault, is the fact that we've got like this meeting with Val and Bix, and apparently they've met, but due to the fact that it's somewhere in the time jump, but apparently, since due to the fact we're not getting a full season, we're not, ever saw that sort of actual initial meeting. This isn't, I believe, the first time that we've seen them interact, but we're not actually seeing it. But I suppose it would make sense that they would become friends, both of them having worked under Luthen, and understand the sort of sometimes difficulties is working for a man like Luthen, if you will. I do like how she's basically telling Bix that Andor is being a bit, due to his behavior, compromising his chances to become an actual leader of the rebellion, if you will. So there is that. But yeah, I do like how we finally got, of course, the sort of Rogue One general, one of the Rogue One characters here. Side characters, the general. I do know he apparently dies in the Star Wars comics set between A New Hope and Empire down the line, but it's nice to see this character again in live action. Not really tolerating Andor's antics, if you will, but yeah. Well, interestingly, also I do like that. You've got like Mon Mothma interacting with a senator who seems to be like has been troubled to try and get his people to like not cause the Empire any problems, but at the same time he starting to like see that the Empire is also being beyond regressive, aggressive, causing problems with him and his people. So and thanking Mon Mothma, which I do like the little joke that Mon Mothma has also, I think, with her cab driver, if you will, about how to replace him. But of course, her personal assistant is saying that then it was replaced with someone more competent, really. Which I wonder if this is also foreshadowing something that would come up in like the third episode, now that I think about it. Interestingly, I think the most controversial thing of this episode is the Force healer. There's some sort of cook who is able to heal and touch the Force, which Bix hopes that might have helped Andor's wound, but Andor, of course, is a bit skeptical, partly because of what his mother said, and also because I think he's not really had much interactions with the Force. But let's see. I think the biggest controversy, of course, is implying that Andor might be some chosen one, but something like that, takes away from the every ordinary man, which on one hand I can see, but I think it's just more of like, this Force user is able to sense that what is in store for his future, basically, and how he will play a very pivotal role. Not necessarily that he's destined, but that's what she senses for him and all that stuff. I could be wrong, but yeah. But either way, I do like that we've gotten a bit of a Force user of some sort, some topic about the Force on the show, because They are going to eventually go to Jeddah, and there's going to be probably needs to be some talk about Jedi and Force users. I don't have to show them in Andor. I get that's not really the whole point of the show, but it's nice that it's sort of brought up, and it does show that there's, besides Han Solo, there's like other people that were like skeptical about the Force. So yeah, I did like that. Other than that, I do like how it seems like the bellhop guy is sort of the bellhop guy here is basically recognizing Andor and helping him get in, so do a sort of mission, and so you think he realizes that Andor's a friend at the very least, or at least an ally to some extent. Other than that, I do like how you've got like the Bakers of the Gorman front, basically, or the rebels, if you will, who at this point, let's see, wanting to have more aggression, but of course their leader wants to stop and thinks it's starting to realize, okay, let's see, what we're doing isn't working, making it worse. I feel like we're heading into a trap, but unfortunately his people are too pride. I do recall that the Star Wars, Tony Gilroy mentions that the reason why, one of the reasons why people of Gorman are sort of all of them, French white cast as well, they're going to use this due to their sort of pride. They have some sort of bit of an isolation from the rest of the galaxy that would do lead to some of the propaganda, which you do hear in the news. I forgot to mention, talking about the sort of aggression of the Gormans, in the sense due to their which is nothing to say wrong. You should have prioritized your culture, but it's since there are some aspects of the Gorman that haven't really probably integrated as well into the galaxy as other cultures have. Allowed the sort of like campaign to somewhat work some truth in there, just to completely exaggerate and annihilate them. I could be reading what the guy said wrong, but yeah, basically Gorman has unfortunately allowed the press and the Empire of do this whole smear campaign that they've got to actually get the majority of the galaxy against them. So while the leaders, of course, trying to say we need to try and do a more peaceful process, as that's the only way that we can make this work. So, yeah. Overall, I think I will give the first episode an 8.5 out of 10. Good setup, and I enjoyed what it had to show. So, but yeah, it's of all the stuff I mentioned, the only really criticism is like some time jump things that prevent the episode from like seeing a few things. Let's see a few interactions with characters I would like to have seen, but yeah. Overall, I'd say it's a decent, good first start. So now that that's out of the way, I probably should now get ready to do the second of the two episodes. Messenger, let's see, is done. Let's see, we're now going like let's see, who are you? Let's see, which this episode basically has basically Andor, but let's see, preparing to sort of assassinate the let's see, the Dara and all that stuff. Let's see, the hotel guy didn't get to see him log, so he's able to let's see, come and go for when he wants to try and assassinate the thing. Meanwhile, the Dara planning with like there's some guy I forgot to mention in the summary of the last episode, I think is which I think I've gone a bit. This guy here with a scar, who I will admit, let's see, when I saw his name, Kaido, and it's like, let's see, given the fact I review One Piece, it's like, are we talking Kaido from One Piece? Which I will admit, it was very hard to find the image from this guy due to the fact when I typed in Kaido Star Wars, most of the images still that showed up was basically Kaido from One Piece. So it's like basically hard. He's basically setting up perimeters to allow the Gormans to start, let's see, their protest and all that stuff, and they are like they take the bait, if you will. Let's see, and using like fresh young men like this Captain Hill, like looking after these young guys to be used as decoys, as you will, as you've got people protesting. Also, Willman here, who seems to also have a relationship with we see at the beginning with one of the rebels, Drina, I think her name is, which was like the driver from like for the Gormans in the last story arc. Though I will admit, let's see, so much for Willman being a sort of promise to go back for his farm girlfriend, but who knows, perhaps he's become too committed to rebellion to ever go back to that lifestyle. So I don't know if she, let's see, so it's like, it seems like she's waiting for a boyfriend that never will come back, if you will, unless she realizes that things are never coming to be. But who knows, we'll have to wait and see. Ooh, motorbike come by, sorry about that. So you've got that. Basically you have the Gorman, let's see, rebel leader. Whoops, hold on. Let's see. There we go. The rebel leader trying to persuade his daughter to stop this because that's being set up as a trap from the Empire. Let's see, and he tries his best to stop the protesters, and unfortunately, it doesn't work. But he also runs into, let's see, Cyril Khan here, who he started confronting, telling like, "What are you sent here for?" and all that stuff. Do you know about the whole mining crew and all that stuff coming here? Cyril tries to say that. Let's see, he hasn't really knows nothing about it. Trying to say that he's just here for like he's here for basically trying to catch outside rebel activity, trying to influence them. But let's see, the leader just no longer believes Cyril Khan, even though that is the case, and telling him that he seems to be like lying, but that is what Cyril Khan, of course, believes. But due to like all the emotions and things of betrayal, he's not listening. Cyril tries to push him aside, tries to go and find Dara, but is told to wait in a certain room when he enters the Imperial office, if you will. And there's, let's see a bunch of the staff there, as well as a bunch of the KX droids, or of course, you know, like, let's see, KS2O's droid group, as you can see here, as they are waiting for what is about to happen. Let's see, you get like all the sort of Gorman rebels and the people coming out to to protest, if you will. Let's see, you've got like Cyril's mother watching the news, by the way, and let's see, yeah, we've got them coming out to protest, particularly like this very outspoken member of the Gorman bearded dude. Let's see, the leader's daughter and her boyfriend. Let's see, chanting, let's see, we are Gorman and all that stuff, and the galaxy's watching. I can't quite remember the exact line. Then they start singing the national anthem, if you will. While this is going on, meanwhile, Andor is, let's see, Andor here is, hold on, Woman, and yeah, Andor here is trying to, let's see, prepare for assassination against the Dara, and the Wellman here is trying to find a Wellman as well, and as due to the chaos, cannot seem to get the communication. So eventually you've got Cyril coming to confront the Dara, which she eventually admits the truth that after being strangled by Cyril Khan, that okay, let's see, we're here to collect the resources from the Empire. This has been planned long ago, even before us. We need to do this. We just need to go back. Let's see, we just need to do this, and we'll be recognized as heroes of the Empire. Trying to convince Cyril, but even talking about how he seemed to like that, didn't mind the promotions, but Cyril is basically done. Seemingly might imply that he's breaking up with her and tries to go find the let's see, goes after trying. It seemed not to do. Let's see, outside. Maybe seem to try and warn the rebels what is about to happen. Meanwhile, Kaido gets basically Kaido here basically gets let's see, the captain of these like young riot guards, if you will, to go to like the square where the memorial is, where you got people waving the flag. He's trying to protest since they're not ready, but he orders them to do it anyway. Then gets like a sniper ready, and after the Dara's let's see, attack, let's see, after Daenerys gives the orders for to carry out the operation, one of his guys gets sniped, and he starts revving them fire everywhere, and then you get stormtroopers and the members of the rebels firing at each other. It's all chaos, if you will. Riot, chaos in the street, people hiding. Let's see, you get people like this young Gorman rebel here who accidentally killed Val's partner, if you will. Cinder, I think her name was. As Andor was trying to try and assassinate Dadara, as a Wilman is helping the rebels shoot off, if you will. You see a bunch of them shooting about, and it's all sort of chaos, if you will. And eventually, Kaido orders the KS2 units to come in. This guy here gets shot and gets wounded from the thing. She gets tossed and thrown by one of the KX droids, much to her boyfriend's horror, who witnesses it. Eventually, seeing some of the rebels are dying, some that are at the plaza with Wilman. Another, I think, was a part of Wilman's staff that was spying to make sure that she Wilman, Ciro's a friend or not. She ends up being killed, and Andor is trying to kill. Dedara is trying to find where Ciro is, but Ciro finds Andor, and they have a bit of a rough skirmish, if you will. And explosions get in the way at one point, and he's just about when he picked up Andor's blaster after an intense fight. Andor goes "Wait, who are you?" And this gets Cyril to hesitate for a moment, because it's he realizes that Andor doesn't know who he is, and just as he drops his guard down for a bit, he gets killed by the Gorman leader, who Wilman eventually runs into Andor again, and seemingly he recognizes Andor and all that stuff. But just a few quick glances at each other, and see Andor just glancing at the Ciro, just wondering who the heck this guy is, heads away. Andor tries to get Wilman to flee, but due to the fact that he wants to find Dadara, ends up leaving. But you get to see the K2S, one of the K2SO, the KX droid, chasing after them. They're trying to take him down, but their blasters seem to be not effective. But they end up being saved by the young Gorman here. Sam, I think, who met Andor before, and they recognize each other as he's crashing like an Imperial vehicle into the KS2. And they put on the bar, and they help Andor put the party parts of K2SO on his tank thing as he drives off to get to the ship. As you've got I forgot to mention this guy dies at some point, and you've got and I think you do have a bit of a scene where he's giving more orders to Dara. As you got hold on, let me find her. Damn it! The Dara Wilman's Wilman's girlfriend, calling out a message about how they're being massacred, trying to reach out to Galaxy, but it doesn't seem to be. I don't know if anyone actually heard, but she's reunited with Wilman. Andor flees with tears in his eyes about hearing the message with K2SO, as we see this guy here carrying this dude until he finally dies, and Ritzy is of course sad about it. And we've got the Gorman rebel leader, if you will, crying himself about all the carnage and not. I'm not sure whether or not he realizes his daughter is dead, but either way, it's all the damage is there. You've got I think Dara Fitzy holding his neck out and checking her neck thing, feeling like the effects of, I think, Ciro strangling her before. I think seemingly getting emotionally torn for what she's done from this episode. And this is the sort of scene that many people thought, okay, is Darth Vader choking her? But no, that's not the case. As the showrunner did announce that Vader's not in Andor. And the episode sort of ends with let's see, Cyril Khan's mother, along with her friends, watching the news about, let's see, of course, the Empire, talking about the horrors about it all from more of a pro-Imperial perspective, but she's crying as like, what's happening? Probably, let's either thinking, is my son alive or not? Or maybe even thinking my son's probably dead. Either way, that sort of ends the episode. So, yeah, now for my, let's see, I guess you could say overall thoughts on this part of the episode. I'm going to admit, this is probably arguably the best episode of season 2, probably maybe even the best episode of Andor, and basically then probably the most action-packed episode you're probably going to get in this entire season, unless there's some action-packed stuff in like let's see, the final season, if you will. So there's all that stuff. I love how you've got like the news preparing all the stuff. You've got like Syl's mother just watching and just showing concern, but also like crying at the end because it's like her son might just be dead, or literally she probably thinks like my son is probably dead. All that kind of, let's see, emotions that you can see from like the character. So there is that. So she's feeling all the sort of the emotions, if you will. I do like that moment and all that stuff. I love, let's see, I do love how you've got like Andor preparing to like let's see, prepare to try and assassinate. You've got like this hotel guy here, let's see, helping him out, and then let's see, I think throughout the episode, I think, and telling him where to go and all that stuff, and wishing him luck and saying, let's see, rebellions are built on hope, saying that line. I forgot to mention that. He also, I think, throws a grenade at some of the Empire stormtroopers, which I think was pretty awesome. I forgot to mention that earlier. So I do like that. I sort of like the sort of tension that's built. You've got like the Gormans, let's see, marching about and let's see, protesting. You've got like the leader trying to stop it all, getting angry, realizing that Cyril Khan has just basically set them up to be, let's see, defeated and all that stuff. Not by, at this point, losing all trust in him. And it's like, no, I don't believe that you're here. That you don't, let's see, think that you're just here just to catch, let's see, outside rebels things. You're here to sabotage us. Or if you're like a complete blind fool, if you will. So I do like sort of that. You've got like the Gorman people coming out to protest, chanting, and then singing their sort of like song. And we've got comments from Universal saying, hello, asking, how are you today? Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. I suppose, yes, happy Mother's Day, though I think, to be hold on, I accidentally dropped my mouse. Give me a sec. I think, just to let you know, it is Mother's Day, I think, in the US, but I believe Mother's Day in the UK was basically Sunday, 15th of March, so it's Mother's Day in the US, but it's Mother's Day, it was Mother's Day a couple of months earlier in the UK. Let's see, 2 months earlier. So we're not really we celebrated Mother's Day early. I don't know why that is. I don't know why US and UK have separate dates and all that stuff, but yeah, but I guess happy Mother's Day to all the US mothers. So but yeah. Anyway, let's see, where was I? Oh yes, let's see, I love seeing the sort of like let's see, chanting they do, but then going to like let's see, their national anthem. I don't know the lyrics to it because it was done in the original language based off of French language, but I do like the sort of thing there. I love like the sort of tension. It's like stormtroopers surrounding TIE fighters sort of coming in the sky, all that sort of tension. You know it's about to go down, and you just like just need the trigger, which is caused by, of course, the main antagonist. One of the main antagonists, Captain Kaido here, who seems quite eager, saying like, "I'm the trigger. You're the telling I think Betsy Dadara that you're the one that needs to give the order." But he's clearly probably enjoying this, as he says, "I want a nice trip home." But yeah, doesn't really seem to, and you can see just how cruel this guy is, as he basically orders this guy and his young group of squads to go in and let's see have one of them shot, hiring a sniper to shoot, telling one of his snipers to like shoot them, and it goes to show just how this episode just goes to show just how evil the Empire actually is. Granted, I do know Star Wars. There's been some talk with Star Wars fans that besides destroying Alderaan, they don't really see how the Empire is that evil. At least I think the Big Bang Theory sort of did that with Sheldon, and that seems to become a more popular meme over time. But granted, I always thought like the first film basically showed Luke's parent, aunt and uncle being burned and Alderaan destroyed. That should have been implied. But Universal. Are you enjoying Andor season 2 or Andor 2? Yes, I am enjoying it, and says I have all the viewership numbers for episodes 1 to 9. Okay, go ahead. Sure, you can say them all as I'm giving my thoughts here. But we get to see just how cruel and evil the Empire is here with like the massacring of the Gorman people, how they've basically set them up, doomed to fail, this propaganda campaign. You see it with them talking about how the savagery of the Gormans and stuff like that, or how rebels have seemingly influenced them and all that stuff, discrediting the Gormans and then having them being shot. They're, of course, able to fight back and take out a few of the Empire's forces, but they're outmatched, outgunned, and outnumbered, especially, when they bring in sort of like... let's see the KX2 units, if you will. Let me just get these guys here, which you can't forget how ruthless these guys are with this, how strong they are, able to lift up and swing people, able to kill, a few of the rebels, particularly the leader's daughter, if you will. Let's see, I'll get to that more. Okay, episode 1 got 248 million views and not in the top 10 charts. Okay, fair enough. Not the best start, but episodes 4 to 6 got 481.3 million views and number 4 in the top 10 charts. Okay, let's see, that's good. It made a bit of progress after a bit more talk about the show, I guess. And episode 7 to 9 got, the episodes I'm covering now, got 714.6 million, I guess, views or watches, and or at least minute watches, I think, and number 2 in the top 10 charts, showing that this story arc, which is many critics have pointed out the highlights of, like, this is the highlight of the season for those who got to see it early and all that stuff, saying that this is the best arc, and it seems to have shown as it's become number 2 on the charts, which is good for the show, and hopefully good for more, if you want more Star Wars content like this down the line. Granted, of course, there has been many debates on this show and just how popular it is, because you got those, of course, who love this show. Some of them saying about how this is so much better than all the other things that Disney have done, and maybe even some stuff that the prequels and Clone Wars have done, depending on the type of Star Wars fan. Some saying this is the best stuff since the original trilogy. You're getting those fans clashing with fans who like all the other stuff, and let's see, and sort of arguing about actually how good or popular show Andor actually is. But unfortunately, which is a shame, really, because it's like we're getting a good Star Wars show, but unfortunately, due to the fact they're sort of dividing the Star Wars fandoms, you got them arguing, let's see, about the show, of course. But at the very least, for those who at least like the show, this story arc particularly is doing well, at least in terms of viewership charts. So, yeah. Granted, well, this might be Andor's last season. Who knows? Hopefully, this means that we'll get more shows like it, though. I'll get more to that kind of, topic a bit later on. But yeah, I do like the fact that you got this show. But yeah, I do like how the droids would end up using. I do like how this episode where we had like how Andor got K2SO basically. Let's see, it tried to kill him, but one of the sort of Gorman rebels was able to just crash into it, and they took the parts away with him and all that stuff. So yeah, I do like that origin. Granted, my understanding, there's a bit of controversy with some comic book fans, where I think there was actually a comic book that told the sort of origins of like how KS2 originally get, and this is different from that, which is unfortunate that that ended up being the case. But let's see, I think it's pretty much clear that Disney will always prioritize the shows. Let's see. the shows and that prioritize the shows and the movies over like the books and comics. Universal are saying, personally, there are things I like in Andor 2 and things I don't like. That's fair enough. And I think that is probably the best, response to have. I mean, Andor is one of Disney's best, shows it is. But there's definitely some things I will admit that I think, okay, they're going a bit too far in some places, or like, and there's a bit of time jump things that have sort of affected it. But then also it's like, it's not necessarily perfect, despite how some Star Wars fans are acting. But yeah, with Universal says it merits the viewership numbers it's getting. Yeah, I do think it has earned the viewership numbers. In many ways, it's like the one show that feels like it's like more long-term built like a TV show rather than a streaming one, because, well, not to say discredit any of the other shows. I've loved The Mandalorian. There are parts of Book and Boba Fett I enjoy and parts I don't. Kenobi I enjoyed when I've watched it, though. Granted, I think there's some stuff that down the line I feel like, okay, this could have been done better. And I think Ahsoka's okay. The only real bad show, I think, in terms of like the series is The Acolyte, where I do like the lightsaber action, but some of the characters and the plot lines it did was kind of bad. The weakest one I think was the twins with May being, I think, I found a very poorly written character, but that's just me. But yeah. But the show is doing some good numbers, and at the very least, it's probably something that Star Wars needs right now. Oh yeah, I also enjoyed Skeleton Crew, by the way. And I do think this is what the show needs right now, because you've got like people saying Star Wars is dead, and but no, Star Wars dead, but no, it shows if Revenge of the Sith, success in this show shows that no, that's not the case. Oh, we've got Universal say, I'm immediately enjoying all the scenes with Dedera and Cyril. So yeah, I think I'll get to that bit now. Let's see. I like how Cyril is just basically starting to face the reality of like, okay, Ritzy, people are shouting at him that Yitzy, you're being Etsy and all that stuff from like the Gorman side. And finally it's just like, okay, I need to confront Dedera. And he does something which I was completely surprised he did, and is try to strangle her, which is arguably, technically, the second time this has happened in a relationship with Star Wars. Now, of course, the context are a bit more different here, but he's finally sort of broken, and it's like, let's see, hold on, I'll get to that comment in a bit, but I do like how this episode has, how basically Cyril is just like had enough of like not getting answers, just maybe perhaps overreacted, but ends up strangling her, demanding the truth, and she tells it. She tries to persuade him that it's doing the right thing, but Cyril is completely disgusted, and and she ends up saying probably the wrong thing about the whole "you didn't mind the promotion," so that, and you get like of course, Cyril just seemingly confused what to do. Maybe is he going to tell the Gorman rebels what's going on? Is he just confused by all the chaos that's going on? But eventually, of course, he sees Andor and tries to fight him. And of course, I love the fight. I mean, this isn't Jedi and Sith or Mandalorians or skilled assassins or bounty hunters. This is two blokes and they do like a standard fight. I think it works in this context here. Not everything has to be a lightsaber style level of fight. But I do like how they seem to get one up on each other now and then, grabbing things to throw each other, until finally, of course, Cyril gets that moment where he looks like he's about to kill Andor, but he goes like, "Who are you?" And it's like he pauses and realizes this guy doesn't even know him. It's like he spent like the last 5 years of his life trying to hunt down Andor, and Andor doesn't even realize it was to him. It's like it's a Tuesday moment, if you will. But yeah. And he then gets, of course, killed. But anyway, we've got Universal saying, I dislike how they killed Cyril off, as I would rather he made a hostage and then tried to turn Dedra, and they both get killed by their commander as they're escaping. Okay, let's see. That's an interesting take, but frankly, I feel like I think I'm perfect. I can see why. You might want to have a bit more Cyril, but I think it was fitting that let's see how he died. Let's see, he finally got to like conflict the man he blamed for his entire career, if you will, but like how everything that's turned out wrong in his life, and things like this is the moment he's been waiting for. But unfortunately for him, Andor doesn't even realize who he is, and he's like, what has basically been my life? And I think you got the showrunner talking about this and pausing like, what's he would do now if he wasn't shot? Would he just want to walk away and all that stuff? Would he see and all that stuff? But unfortunately for him, he gets killed by someone, by the Gorman leader, who has taken a bit of revenge for what he's done. Andor's just wondering who this guy is, whether or not he ever finds out who Cyril Khan is, whatever. But at the very least, Cyril Khan does not seem to think that his life may have not mattered in the end. Let's see. Universal Go. I love the TIE Avengers scenes. Need more of it in other episodes. Why wasn't used is unfortunate. I talk about from the first story arc. Yeah, that's good. I'm just assuming because it was stolen by Andor and that they didn't have time to build another one, or I don't know, they may have lost the plans or something. I'm not entirely sure about that, but we'll have to wait and see in regards to that. But nevertheless, we've got the TIE thing. But yeah, I think his character, this was basically the first antagonist of the show, if you will, for at least this first story arc. Sort of being a sort of parallel to Andor a bit, but unfortunately where Andor has built up more positive relationships over time, even with conflicting with Luthen, Cyril, unfortunately, was just left with, unfortunately, a girlfriend that lied to him, unfortunately, and as this is the sort of result of his thing. But even though their relationship might have been broken after this, if he did survive, I do like how the Dara does seem to genuinely care for Cyril, trying to get staff members to find him. But it seems like he probably realizes that he's probably dead, but seems to be sort of being affected by Cyril's anger and what she's done, as she feels like she's being still choked by Cyril at the end. What becomes of her, I'm not sure, but whether or not she's got a chance of redemption or will she die a villain or not, stuff we'll have to wait and see. But I do feel like her end will be for this final story arc, however it takes place. Whether or not it's by the commander's eyes, I'm not sure, but yeah. Anyway, I do like how we've just seen, granted, Andor may have not been primarily the main focus on certain parts of the episode. I do like how he's basically trying to just get ready to sort of shoot the Dara, but something always gets in the way. But I will probably say for this, Cyril managed to save her one last time, and though she may never really know about it, unless they sort of confront her and learns about her boyfriend, but who knows? But yeah, he does it. He's trying to do his best, and then decides, okay, let's take the droid when it comes. Tries to get Wilman to come with him, but Wilman, of course, is committed to the Dara and all that stuff. You see him tearing eye about what's going on with the thing, but yeah. Basically, I think he's basically been broken from this episode of all the tragedies that go through. And but yeah, I do like the sort of speech that she made about trying to message she's trying to get to to the rest of the galaxy to help them with being slaughtered, if you will. I do like how the character who accidentally got Fowl's partner killed got a bit of a redemption of saving Andor and bringing in chaos to him and all that stuff. And like I said earlier, I like the sort of how the episode ends with Cyril's mother and all that stuff. So overall, I'd say this first episode, it seems like Universal's now left. This episode, a 10 out of 10. I think it is a very perfect, perfect or nearly perfect episode. I think it'll be the best in season. It'll be very hard to top it, but we'll have to wait and see. As we now get to the final episode, if you will, in which let's see, hold on. The episode begins at Coruscant's Imperial Senate, where basically, hold on. Hi, here we go. Let's see, the Gorman Senator Dassaran is being hauled away. He's trying to protest that he's done nothing wrong, and it's trying to get everyone that this is this is the evil of the Empire, trying to warn everyone that what happened with Gorman will come for them all and stuff. If you will, sort of like first they came for us, then they'll come for you kind of speech you sometimes hear about when it comes to prejudice against other people, if you will. He's been taken away while Bale is talking with Mon Mothma, and she's basically Mon Mothma here is. Hold on, let me just find it. Mon Mothma here is like saying she's basically had it. She's going to make a speech, and then let's see, condemning like what happened with the Empire as Bale. Bale is like saying he'll stay here because there's still some things he needs to be. One needs to stay behind, at least for the time being, but he will try and join her at Yavin again. Arguably not retiring as a senator yet until like his adoptive daughter Leia takes his place, if you will. So yeah, you've got that. They're preparing to like Mon Mothma's preparing for what she's about to do, if you will, and we end up, let's see, we've basically then cut to like Andor, who is with let me just find the character. Oh yeah, Luthen's assistant, giving Andor details on his next mission of trying to extract Mon Mothma. But Andor's just like pretty much implying that he's probably done with this after like this last mission. She tries to get him to like persuade, because like let's see what we're fighting for and all that stuff. But Andor just seems to be, let's see, having enough. You get Mon Mothma, after advice from Bale, has her assistant, if you will. Let me just find the character. Hold on. Oh yeah, let's see, Erskine Samaji, if you will, find let's see, plants within the Imperials, if you will, and as Mon Mothma is trying to practice a speech outside, she is confronted, met with Luthen, who reveals that he found that he knows where he is because her assistant is actually working for him to keep an eye on her. She feels a sense of betrayal and seems like she's basically had enough of let's see, Cyril himself, as doesn't really trust him, and he's trying to imply that he's the only one that you can trust in this situation right now, because the team Bale's setting up has been corrupted and compromised, and that he's got like someone in it, basically Andor, ready to like extract her when she's done with her speech, but you can't tell whether or not she fully trusts and believes him at this point. He does give her the words that a friend and his agent will have said, "I have friends everywhere," and she gets mad at, let's see, once she gets back, after, let's see, her assistant, let's see, confirms that there's no more comm traces. She confronts, like, how long have you been a spy for, let's see, Cyril? And it's revealed ever since the wedding. And this is a bit of a tension because Mon Mothma sort of got mad at Luthen for, like, what happened to her old Fritzy banker friend for, like, taking him out. But as Luthen pointed out, that his friend was a liability and a threat to her, but she's not having it and dismisses her, as you've got ISB agents, particularly the ISB agent we've got. Let's see, keep an eye, is this guy here, Largret. I think getting like appeals to keep an eye on Mon Mothma after like the beakers broke down. The driver says that she's not, let's see, responding to him and all that stuff, not telling. It's being a bit odd, and they suspect that she's about to do, let's see, some sort of like a speech in the Senate, even though they've made Fritzy plans to make sure she doesn't. But Bale has, let's see, I think, set up some sort of like emergency thing where it goes down. And basically, you've got Andor trying to get into the building, let's see, as well as Bale's agents, if you will. But it's revealed that one of them is, the female one is an Imperial, ISB agent spy, kills one of the others and starts to prepare. Andor ends up meeting, Erskine Selma, telling him, inform some of the situations, if you will, as, we get like Imperial, the driver just, standing by, if you will. Mon Mothma is basically, as Luthen and his assistant are basically trying to listen in what's going on. Mon Mothma, after you've got a few Imperial senators sort of condemning the Gormans and trying to go about how the brave Imperial forces. Oh, wait, hold on. We got some comments here with Universal saying, do you think Luthen dies in the next 3 episodes? If yes, how and why, by whom? Let's see, and Universal Guardian's like, what happens to Dedra? How does she die again, and how and whom? How she dying again, and how and by whom? Okay, for this one, she hasn't died yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if she died. And if I had to guess, it could be very possible there's a confrontation between Luthen and the Dara that results in like both of their deaths. That could be something that happens, or maybe Andor's involved somehow, but either way, I think it's very likely these 2 characters are going to die next set of episodes. And what will KRS-2 do in these last 3 episodes? I'm not sure yet. I assume at the very least he's helping Andor. Let's see, with whatever mission he is doing. But it'll be basically the episodes that directly tie in, I think, to like Rogue One. So we'll have to wait and see in regards to that. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what, but it'll be something that leads into the events of Rogue One at the very least. But yeah. But anyway, and Mon Mothma, after the help from Bail, is able to deliver a speech. Let's see, talking about how truth is being lost in the galaxy now, in the Senate, and it happened with the Gorman massacre, and basically calling out a genocide as you get angry senators trying to say traitor, traitor. But she continues, and let's see, and despite the Imperial's best attempts to shut off, let's see, the transmission, as a few staff members have locked it to make sure the speech goes through. And eventually cut it off, but as she's able to end it with saying that the real monster is Emperor Palpatine, as she prepares to sort of like leave. You've got Andor meeting her, revealing that he is the friend that Luthen mentioned, talking about his connection with Val and all that stuff, despite Mon Mothma's lack of trust. But they end up being confronted by that ISB spy amongst Bail's team, but saved by distraction by Eric and Silma accusing her of being rebel spy. Andor shoots and shocking everyone there, and leaving the other guy behind because they don't necessarily trust him, despite the fact he had no idea what's going on. Let's see, Ezra and Simo holds him off until he's able to get away, as Andor is escorting Mon Mothma all the way to like get away, trying to avoid the Imperials, if you will. They even eventually confront like the driver, which Mon Mothma feels he's a spy. Andor pretends to be like a friend, an ally at first, saying, "Oh, we got Mon Mothma," but he's confused, and he shoots him down, surprising Mon Mothma, if you will, with like what's going on. So and all that stuff, but shocking Andor with what's going on with like the brutality. But he does goes like and you see parts in the episode where she's not sure she can do this, but Andor just basically tells her, "Welcome to the rebellion," as they leave, eventually arriving at a safe house where let me just find the character, where basically Kayla is here, and let's see, informing Andor and Mon Mothma the situation. Let's see, Willman is telling Andor that Mon Mothma will be going with Gold Squadron as she's going to give another speech, and this is going to be like the speeches that she gives out in Star Wars Rebels, as and to make sure that the continuity sticks in with those cartoons and all that stuff. So let's see that cartoon and all that stuff, as Mon Mothma sort of thanks Andor for what he does, with Andor saying just make it worth and all that stuff. And also, I should mention, Willman is here injured with his girlfriend, but they're taking him. But Andor's taking him back. They arrive at sort of like Imperial base, where let's see, the general is talking about the speech and all that stuff, trying to assure Andor that let's see, it's the job that gets done. It doesn't matter about the glory and all that stuff. Tries to offer to like listen to the speech, but Andor's heard enough. All that stuff. Telling him about the KX droid that's there, so they take that. Let's see. Meanwhile, you've got Val helping new recruits and all that stuff, checking weapons belong, and we've got let's see, Ruska Melashi here, who was in the prison arc and of course in Rogue One as an actual member of Rogue One. Ritzy arriving, seemingly showing that he's been recruited, but you've now got like Andor. Let's see, Andor ready to like leave with Bix, telling Bix that they can now. Hold on, where is she? Oh yeah, Bix here, telling them that let's see, he's ready to leave with her and let's see, get a more quiet life. But as he wakes up, she gives a message that she's not going to let let's see Andor choose her over the rebellion. So she's going away for a time being, doing something else for the rebellion, not on Yavin, but let's see, instead urges Andor to stay here and fight for the cause because she believes that he will play a vital role, but says that when the war's done, let's find each other again and we'll be back in the relationship. Not aware of what's actually going to be happening with Andor, as he learns from like one of the rebels that she's already left and that about to reactivate the KS2 droid. He gets a gun ready as a guy tries to offer him goggles. And finally, we've got KS2 activated and Andor's a bit tense on the gun thing. Andor KS2 introduces himself and says like, if you're not gonna like shoot me, could you please put that away and all that stuff? As you see that he has become the droid that we know and love, and Andor ending the episode as Andor as universe is gone, ending the episode with like the sort of partnership that we see at the beginning of Rogue One, ending the episode. First of all, I like how we see at the beginning and see the Gorman senators being dragged away because it's like they've just done the massacre. They don't want him speaking out. They want him arrested. He tries to protest, tries to urge the other senators, let's see, they're my people first, it'll be yours next, and all that stuff. So I do like that little bit that you've got from the episode. I do like how at this point, Mon Mothma and Bail are like, Mon Mothma's like finally had it and telling Bail, but I like how Bail says, someone needs to stay behind in order to keep attracting the Senate until he is ready to leave and have his daughter take over. So I do like that. I do like how he's like got a plan to help her, but is unfortunately too distant from his like the men he's hired that doesn't realize that one of them is a spy, but nevertheless, you know he's got the right intentions at heart, and even encouraging Mom to do the speech. And though granted, the only real criticism I have is I think the actor here does a good job, and even though it's not the actual Bail Organa that we're used to, I will say I think the only real criticism I have is the fact when he's telling them to give give the Senate let's see, the S word, if you will, which I don't think that's a line that Bail Organa would actually say. Maybe give them hell, but I do not think he would say the S word. That's just more of a minor nitpick, really. But yeah. So I do like that. I do like how we've got basically Luthen just like let's see, coming in and let's see, telling Mon Mothma like he's got a friend. Let's see, one of his her assistant as his agent, and also that he's got an agent ready to come in and all that stuff, telling her that I'm the only one you can trust. He's not, let's see, dealing with a protest right now. He wants to make sure Mon Mothma survives, whether or not she likes him or not, despite what's happened with her childhood friend. He at least wants to make sure she is still, let's see, alive and kicking, if you will. So I do like that. I do like how we've got that, though, basically, with Luthen Rail and Mon Mothma. And granted, he doesn't stick around at the end, but he does stay behind despite the protests from Andor. It's like he's needed here. Let's see, to do the spy work. He knows that he might end up being captured by Empire at some point if he stays here. But nevertheless, he's got a job here to do, and he's going to do it until like the very end. So I do like that. Let's see, this character from introduced in Rebels, which I do like the sort of like continuity nods. It's a minor sort of background character. We've learned quite a bit about him. First story arc, we learned that his mother was of Gorman and all that stuff. So there's some personal things have gone on, and he has a sense of loyalty. But his loyalty to Mon Mothma ended up being so strong. He ended up being like thinking that Luthen would protect her. Ends up getting it odds with her, and she dismisses him. But I do like how he's still trying to make sure that Mon Mothma's safe, and I think his actions down the line gets Mon Mothma to trust him again, even though it took a bit of a while. So there's that. I do like how let's see for Mon Mothma, I do like how she's like finally had enough. She's about to outspoken. We know this is going to happen because of like how rebels had her declare that the Golden Massacre is a monstrous crime by the Emperor. So I do like how that I do like how we've got like the tension with the episode of like how she's building up. She's trying to prepare, make sure no one's spying on her and all that stuff. She doesn't know who to trust really. She wants to trust Bale, but is taking Luthen's words about his men being compromised. You don't know whether or not she's going to do it or not, but yeah. And I do like how she's just preparing for the speech, listening to like all these Imperial senators are just basically Imperial propaganda condemning the Gorman. And it's anyway based on like a lot of things you see in real life of like ongoing conflicts with like certain politicians condemning a group that is being prosecuted just because they are, either allied to a certain country, if you will. And even though it's like stuff like that, I like sort of like real world politics, if you will. And and I love the speech that she gave. Granted, there was a bit of controversy with the speech she had made because, it's not the same speech that's in Rebels, but there is a bit of like they do a little continuity thing of like saying that she's going to make another speech down with like the Gold Squadron. So it's like they're doing their own speech here in the Senate. Granted, I do not think that the comments from the writer about saying how he said he doesn't really want to be tied down to this Rebels speech and all that stuff. The way he said it probably helped matters. I mean, I get that some of the fans like, oh yeah, I like it. He's done his own thing, but it's like I feel like his work, the way he worded it, it's in those interviews, kind of like may have like get robbed certain fans of like Rebels the wrong way, and you've got like some clashes between fans from like at least from like non-Andor shows with like the Andor fans as a result. I mean. Actually, don't get me wrong. I think the speech is great, and I like how the more she goes on, the angrier senators get, and to like she finally says like Emperor Palpatine's name, if you will. So yeah, I do like that. I do like how you see that she's quite different from like other senators that particularly Senator Leia and Padme, who are senators but politicians, but also they're a bit of action. But she's never really, as we've seen, been on the front lines. She's like shocked when the killings are happening and all that stuff, having panic attacks when she sees it. Not sure she can go through it, but nevertheless, she is persuaded to go on and all that stuff. So it's like she's not really a witsy on the ground witsy fighter like the rest of the Rebel Alliance. It makes sense. She's more of a public figure, political leader, if you will. In many ways, I do wonder if she's probably now thinking like, is this the stuff that Padme had to go through all this time? As Padme was like with her friends, and it's like she must know of like all the times that she was Padme was trying to all the attempts to assassinate Padme. So I do wonder of that. Who knows? Maybe we will get some sort of comic, or maybe Dave Filoni show referencing that. But who knows? But we're probably not going to get it here. I doubt Padme will ever be mentioned in Andor, unfortunately. But yeah. But nevertheless, I do like that, and I do like how she wants to thank Andor, if you will. So there's that. Other than that, I like how you've got the Red Piro as an ISB keeping tracks of Mon Mothma, trying to like say, okay, is she up to something? And you've got this guy here who's not the most competent member of the I guess ISB. So it's like he seems to make a few mistakes of just waiting, just like getting just standing by and just like waiting and all that stuff before like the agents to act are too late to do so, and they end up being killed. So I think he's probably going to get screwed. He might be in trouble next story arc if we see him at all. But I do like how you're trying to get like the Imperials to try and censor the speech, trying to turn it off, but people on the inside want the speech to go on with like those two surfacemen who make sure that the door is locked and they have to go a long way, and that allows the speech to actually be completed. And then you've got like this one Spartan Bears group that unfortunately gets immediately caught by another one of Bale's agents, but then she has to kill him, and then gets tricked by being accused of being a rebel spy and shot and all that stuff. So I liked that aspect. So there is that, and yeah. As for Andor himself, I like how due to the events of like Gorman, he seems to like finally had enough, and then like okay, wants to be done with it, and just wants to live a life with Bix, but it's at least willing to do this one mission and like making sure that Mon Mothma is out, and even killing a few people, including like the sort of taxi driver, if you will, who let's see whether or not he has a change of heart from listening to Mon Mothma's speech. Either way, he's taking it out, and Andor does it, and he's ready to start a life with Bix. But I do like how Bix has decided, like, given the offense with the Force healer, has decided the rebellion needs Andor, and she's not going to be the reason that he leaves, so decides to leave to make sure he stays on the mission. Is this the last we've seen of her? I'm not sure. Granted, maybe we'll see something of her next episode, maybe seeing what kind of rebellion thing she does, but she does talk about coming back to Andor once the war's over, but unfortunately for her, we know that Andor dies at the end of Rogue One with Jyn Erso. We don't know if she will be alive to hear that reaction, and I wonder how she feels like someone else dying with Andor besides her. But no, granted, I don't think she would know the exact details. But to see if she survives, I'd be curious to see how she responds to like him, like his sacrifice, and what if she stayed along with the rebellion afterwards, or what she does afterwards and all that stuff. Other than that, I'm glad that Willman, at the very least, is alive, if you will, and seemingly ready to stay with the rebellion, at least for like this last story arc with at least his girlfriend that's now part of the rebellion. Other than that, I like the fact that we've got Val. Val is sort of, as we saw from the first episode, that she is of this arc as. Whoops. Let me find her. Dang it. Ah, there we go. I went too far. Val is really training new recruits, and end up we're finally getting this guy who's joining. It makes sense that now that we're finally going Yavin as a base and all that stuff. But yeah, I do like also how the general here. General here is trying to tell Andor that they're going to try and do the speech again, and all that stuff, but tries to give Andor like assurance that it's the job. It's the point and thing is the fact that you got the mission done, and even tries to offer to like him to come in listen to the speech, but of course Andor isn't. But other than that, I love like the end where Andor is now basically no longer has Bix, is now Ritzy staying behind and waiting to see K2SO. At least one of these droids is K2SO. Ritzy is being turned on. I like the sort of that he's being cautious in case he's going to be violent, but of course he's activated, and we hear his voice and we know that okay, he's basically the K2SO we know, and that these two are now going to begin their final mission. Granted, I understand that the storyline, K2SO was originally going to be single episode of a sort of horror thing on a ship with transporting a tank of some sort. It's a shame that would have never got to be covered, because like Andor was condensed, or the last 4 years of Andor was condensed to like a single season, if you will. But I do like at the very least that he's basically ready for the mission now, and that he's ready for he's like the droid he is now, and Andor's ready to go on missions with K2SO. So yeah, that ending the episode and all that stuff. Overall, I think this episode, I'd probably give it. I want to give it a 10, though. Granted, I probably should give it maybe 9.9 or 9.8 due to some like nitpicks I have. But nevertheless, I think it's a very good follow-up episode. It's as good as the first one, as the second episode. I'd probably say more in an action sense and more like the tension. I probably like the first one. But I love the politics here. Honestly, I know some people say that this is Star Wars' best politics, though I do like Padme's like Revenge of the Sith politics and prequel ones, but that's just me. But I'm not going to get into that debate. But yeah, I arguably enjoyed this episode Mon Mothma's speech, let's see if you will, I think it was probably the best one since Marva's at the end of the first season. And also I think that One Way Out speech by Andy Serkis' character from the prison arc, if you will. So yeah, I think this is definitely top 3 speeches in the show. And I'm liking it. I love the speech. I love like the tension, Bail Organa helping her and all that stuff. Luthen doing like his own sort of thing. Andor just wanting to have enough and live with Bix, but eventually sticks with the rebellion and all that stuff. The Empire unable to stop Mon Mothma doing her speech. And also like Chaos 2 finally being like the droid that we know and love, and we're going to see him in like the last bit of episodes at the very least, leading up to like Rogue One. So yeah, overall good episodes. This is definitely the strongest arc of Andor is. I'm not see. In my understanding, the next one probably might not top it because there's some things that has to lead into Andor, but we'll have to wait and see there. For those who ended up listening and see what I had to say, Universal. Thank you for your comments. They were quite helpful with some things, particularly like the ratings of the show. I do like that. We got some confirmation for that. So yeah. And for those who end up listening in, I hope you enjoyed what I had to say. And I'll see you all next time when I review the last batch of episodes of Andor. But for now, when they come out. But for now, I am Blue Star Saber signing off. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye. May the Force be with you.